Welcome back to English Podcast for Listening and Speaking. I'm Brian, already curious and slightly caffeinated because traffic shapes our moods before breakfast and rewrites timetables faster than alarms.
And I'm Emily, feeling hopeful and a little dramatic, haha. If you've ever been held up by gridlock or a mysterious delay, today's conversation will feel painfully familiar and strangely empowering.
Quick CTA. Before we set off, please like, share, and drop a comment telling us your worst commute this month. Your stories help other learners practice real English, not just textbook phrases.
Today's listening focus is crucial. Causes of delays. When a bus breaks down, when a train switches over tracks, when rain floods an intersection, knowing the cause changes your choices instantly.
Exactly. If you hear signal failure, you reroute. If it's capacity constraints, you wait for the next train. Listening for causes lets you plan smarter than panic, calmer than complaints.
I still remember missing an interview because 2 buses broke down. The second one literally gave up beside the depot. My confidence deflated faster than a bicycle tire on gravel, honestly.
Ouch. I once set off early and still arrived late because a lane closure created a bottleneck. Everyone tried a detour, then the detour jammed harder than the main road.
Let's welcome our tiny guest cameo to Anchor Vocabulary. We called a traffic engineer who moonlights as a dispatcher during peak chaos. Friend of the show, thanks for joining us today.
Hey folks, when you hear congestion, think over-demand, too many vehicles for the available space. Infrastructure is the hardware. Roads, rails, signals. Reliability means services arrive when timetables promise, consistently.
That helps. So if a bridge repair reduces lanes, infrastructure meets demand badly and reliability drops. People set off earlier, but departures cluster and capacity collapses like a clumsy domino line.
And a bottleneck is the narrow point that slows everything, like an on-ramp feeding a saturated freeway. Even small incidents there hold up thousands, turning short delays into epic stories.
Exactly. And delays stack. One bus breaking down can block a bay, hold up departures behind it, and reduce throughput. Suddenly, frequency slips, anxiety rises, and passengers miss connections across town.
Thank you. Clearer than traffic radio at dawn. We'll let you get back to the control room. Listeners, listen for those cause words. Breakdown, incident, bottleneck, signal fault, reduced capacity, flooding.
Let's humanize this. When you're stuck, emotions spike: frustration, worry, guilt. Language matters. I've been held up by a blockage near Central. I'll get back by 10 sounds calmer than I'm doomed.
Also, the phrasal verbs carry action. Set off earlier. Run into a delay. Service breaks down. Apps suggest you switch over to a different line. Clarity reduces stress measurably.
Here's a quick listening drill. If an announcement says, "A vehicle has broken down near Eastport," what should you do? Exactly estimate knock-on effects. Consider walking the last mile.
Now, modes. Trains are often more reliable than buses during storms. Buses are more flexible than trains during diversions. Bikes are quicker than cars across downtown during peak congestion. Trade-offs everywhere.
Audience question 1. What usually holds you up: weather, breakdowns, bottlenecks, or late departures? Write a 1-sentence story using a phrasal verb like, "We set off early and still got held up."
Audience question 2. What time do you set off to make good time? Share your city and strategy. Your comments become a crowdsourced timetable, smarter than my cranky alarm clock, honestly.
Let's compare causes. Weather delays are slower than mechanical failures but wider in impact. Mechanical failures are nastier than light congestion but narrower geographically. Knowing the difference guides patience.
I like to label delays by control. If I can switch over modes, great. If I can't, I manage expectations. I'll be held up. Meeting might start without me. Modals keep tone polite.
Speaking of tone, opinion starters help when emotions run hot. I think congestion pricing could reduce peak delays. From my experience, flexible hours are more reliable than strict 9 o'clocks.
We'll dive deeper into policy later. Right now, let's keep vocabulary alive. Frequency matters. How often buses arrive. Capacity matters. How many people they carry. Reliability combines both with punctuality.
Real example. If frequency is high but capacity low, Buses arrive often yet leave people behind. Ugh. If capacity is high but frequency low, people clump, then stampede, then sigh dramatically.
Ha ha, stampede is accurate. My favorite quiet fix is staggered departures. Two smaller buses can feel more reliable than one huge bus if the corridor keeps getting little incidents near the plazas.
Now, emotional honesty. Sometimes the city isn't failing. Our planning is. We set off later than reality allows, then blame congestion. I'm guilty. Optimistic schedules are cuter than useful.
True. I run a personal buffer 15 minutes for routine congestion, 30 for rain. It's cheaper than stress. A buffer is more reliable than hope, even if hope has better branding.
Let's give a tiny role play. You text your manager. Signal failure held up the green line. I've switched over to the tram and should arrive by 9:40. Can we start without me?
That message identifies cause, action, and estimated arrival. It sounds professional, not panicked. Modals like should communicate probability without promising miracles. Promises break down faster than buses.
Another everyday line. The ride-hailing app says the driver is stuck in a jam near the tunnel. I'll get back as soon as they detour. Calm, factual, listener-friendly, no melodrama needed.
Let's tuck in two idioms carefully. If traffic clears unexpectedly, we make good time. If we completely miss the train, we miss the boat. Idioms should clarify, not distract, right?
Right. And remember right of way when buses or trams have priority. If they get a dedicated lane, overall reliability improves. If everyone barges equally, nobody moves. Democracy turns into deadlock.
That's where mode share comes in. What percentage uses bus, rail, car, bike? Shifts in mode share can relieve bottlenecks even without new infrastructure, because distribution beats pure expansion sometimes.
I want a shareable line here. Name the cause, then choose the cure. Screenshot it. Tag a friend who always blames fate. Diagnosis makes commuting feel less cruel and more solvable.
Lovely. Now, quick sensory check. Rain sounds prettier than it performs. Wet roads reduce throughput. Braking distances lengthen. Minor bumps become scenes. Emergency lanes clog. Timetables wobble like umbrellas.
Emotional check 2. Anxiety spikes when information is vague. Ask for specifics. Was it a breakdown or a signal issue? Concrete nouns feel safer than mysteries. Language steadies nerves.
Let's simulate an announcement and react. Attention. Congestion at Riverbend due to lane closure. My response. Switch over to the parallel street. Or hop a tram for 2 stops, then walk.
My response. Message the group. Held up near Riverbend lane closure. I'll arrive 15 late. Then breathe. Better 15 honest minutes than 40 anxious ones. Honesty is faster than excuses.
What about safety? Detours tempt risky crossing. Please don't sprint across multi-lane roads. No meeting is worth a gamble. Reliability includes arriving intact, not merely arriving, you know.
Truth. And compassion. Drivers and dispatchers aren't villains, they're juggling infrastructure limits. A kind message to a delayed driver helps morale. Morale supports reliability more than we admit publicly.
Let's prime tomorrow's listening. When you board, listen for the 3 W's. What failed, where it failed, why it failed. Those answers suggest whether to wait, walk, switch, or reschedule.
Also watch your own patterns. If the 7:30 bus is always held up, consider setting off earlier or switching over to a feeder route. Habit redesign beats daily rage, honestly.
Before we close, one more audience prompt. What's your smartest micro habit? Preloading a transit card? Packing an umbrella? Charging a power bank? Post it. Practical tips travel faster than traffic.
Final mini drill. Speak this aloud. I was held up by a breakdown near junction. I switched over to the tram and got back by 9. That rhythm is calmer than excuses.
Beautiful cadence. Okay. Final CTA for this section: like, share, and comment your city, plus the delay cause you hear most. We'll shout out patterns and solutions in the next episode.
Bridge to section 2. We'll compare modes, routes, and real delay causes, using phrasal verbs in action: set off, break down, held up, switch over, so vocabulary becomes a toolkit, not a tongue twister.
Bring your stories, your timetables, your patience. We'll turn commuting chaos into choices you can actually use tomorrow morning, even if the sky forgets how to behave again. Welcome back. Today we'll compare modes bus, train, car, bike, walk, ride-hailing, and listen for the true causes that hold us up, not the excuses we invent afterward, haha.
Let's start with buses. They're flexible, cheap, everywhere, but they share lanes. If a delivery van breaks down, a whole corridor gets held up like beads on a tight string.
Exactly. Reliability depends on frequency and right-of-way. Dedicated lanes increase throughput. Mixed traffic crushes it. If buses can't bypass bottlenecks, minor incidents become legendary sagas people still complain about.
Phrasal verbs in action. You set off early, then run into a stalled truck, switch over to a parallel route, and still get held up by a school drop-off zone. Pure chaos.
Trains next. Rails usually beat congestion, and schedules feel firmer than bus timetables. But a single signal fault can hold up multiple lines, because infrastructure is tightly linked like dominoes.
When trains work, they're more reliable than cars across dense downtowns. When they fail, wow, you feel it. Frequency collapses, platforms overflow, and passengers detour through stations they barely recognize.
Ride-hailing now. Door-to-door comfort, but drivers get stuck in the same gridlock as everyone else. If ramps close, the detour doubles price and time. Comfort doesn't guarantee reliability under congestion.
Cars give control, leave when you want, carry stuff, pick up a friend, drop off a child, but capacity is brutal. One incident, and lanes crawl slower than a sleepy parade.
Bikes excel at last mile. In heavy congestion, a bike is often faster than a car for downtown trips. Weather holds cyclists up, though, and infrastructure gaps turn confidence into nerves.
Walking never breaks down, haha. It's slower than bikes but more reliable than buses over short distances when roads are jammed. Sidewalk quality matters. Missing crossings can hold up pedestrians dangerously.
Let's thread causes. Mechanical failure bus breaks down at a bay, holds up departures behind it, and reduces frequency. Policy failure, no bus priority means repeated small delays. Death by 1,000 interruptions.
Demand spikes matter too. If a stadium empties, the corridor gets overwhelmed. Even a reliable line breaks rhythm. Without extra capacity, the return trip to get back takes forever.
Weather is the wild card. Heavy rain reduces throughput. Braking distances lengthen. Minor bumps turn into multi-vehicle incidents. Announcements mention reduced capacity or restricted speed. Those phrases predict widespread holdups.
Construction detours can be smarter than they feel. Short-term pain, long-term reliability. Still, if signage is unclear, drivers run into the same choke point twice, and tempers spike faster than needles.
Phrasal verb mini drill. We set off at 7, ran into a breakdown, switched over to the tram, and got back by 9. That rhythm reports cause, action, outcome calm and credible.
Audience question 1. What usually holds you up? Breakdowns, weather, bottlenecks, or bad timing? Post one sentence using a phrasal verb. I was held up near harbor, then switched over to line 2.
Audience question 2. When do you set off to make good time? Share city, route, and trick. Your routine might rescue someone's interview tomorrow morning, which feels heroic and surprisingly practical.
Let's compare reliability across modes with real conditions. Stormy day, rail beats bus. Signal fault, bus beats rail. Marathon day, bike beats car downtown. Night service, ride-hailing beats low-frequency routes.
Here's a listening hack. Identify whether the cause is fixed point or network-wide. A crashed scooter at one intersection is local, a power failure is regional. Local delays invite detours. Regional ones demand patience.
Right-of-way matters. If trams own the lane, they glide. If parked cars nibble that lane, everything slows. One illegally stopped van can hold up 100 people, which feels wildly unfair.
Talk last mile. Even perfect trains fail if the last kilometer is broken. Safe crossings, shaded sidewalks, clear wayfinding, those tiny features protect schedules. Poor last mile kills reliability quietly.
Ride-hailing quirks. Drivers loop to find legal pickup zones. If signage is confusing, you're held up before starting. Choose a landmark, message clearly, and save everyone 15 grumpy minutes.
Carpooling trade-off. You save money and emissions, but every extra pickup adds delay risk. One person who can't set off on time holds up the whole car. Friendship plus timetable equals diplomacy.
Bus frequency illusions. A 10-minute schedule sounds fine, but if 2 buses bunch and 1 disappears, effective frequency doubles. You feel abandoned, then 3 arrive together like confused penguins.
Train terminology quickie. Headway equals time between trains. If headways widen from 3 to 8 minutes, platforms swell. Even without breakdowns, minor speed restrictions hold up the entire pattern.
Let's role-play morning choices. I'll read announcements. You decide. Northbound line, signal fault. I'd switch over to the busway and ride 2 stops, then walk the last mile along the river.
Next. Accident on the ring road, lane 2 closed. I'd set off on the metro. Then pick up a bike. Share for the final kilometer. Multimodal beats pride during closures.
Another, storm warning, tram frequency reduced. I'd leave earlier, carry a rain shell and message the team that I might be held up by restricted speed. Expect 10-minute slippage.
Reliability isn't perfection, it's predictability. I'd rather plan around a known 15-minute buffer than gamble on miracles. Buffers are cheaper than apologies and calmer than breathless sprints.
Idioms moment, used lightly. If we glide through green lights, we make good time. If downtown freezes entirely, that's gridlock. Keep idioms clean. Clarity outruns cleverness during delays.
Data truth. Peak congestion grows nonlinearly. When a corridor reaches capacity, tiny additions cause huge slowdowns. That's why small mode share shifts more bikes, staggered starts can relieve pressure more than extra lanes.
Safety reminder, detours tempt risky shortcuts. No meeting deserves sprinting across 6 lanes. Choose reliability plus safety. Arriving intact beats arriving record fast with shaky knees and regret.
Infrastructure shapes habits. Protected bike lanes invite beginners. Bus gates grant priority. Clear platforms reduce boarding chaos. Design reduces holdups silently, the way good shoes prevent blisters you never notice.
Emotional language helps groups cooperate. I'm held up by a bottleneck. Switching over to the tram. Should arrive 9 to 10. That sentence carries cause, action, estimate, less drama, more teamwork.
Family logistics. School drop-off can hold up a whole block. If possible, set off 15 earlier or switch over to a side street drop-off. Micro decisions rescue macro corridors remarkably often.
Night service patterns. Lower frequency increases wait risk. If you miss 1 bus, you're held up 30 minutes. Plan pickups carefully. Standing alone at midnight feels longer than clocks admit.
Parking myths. Searching for a spot is a stealth delay. A 5-minute drive plus 10-minute parking hunt is slower than a 7-minute bus with reliable headways. Hidden minutes steal mornings.
Freight matters too. When delivery windows overlap commuter peaks, curb space collapses. Shared loading bays and off-peak deliveries increase reliability for everyone, pedestrians, buses, even impatient espresso hunters.
Micro habits to cut delays. Preload transit cards, charge phones, snapshot timetables, memorize 2 detours, keep a compact umbrella, wear comfortable shoes. Comfort accelerates decisions. Decisions cut holdups.
Let's script 2 quick announcements and responses. Minor incident near junction, 15-minute delay. I'd set off anyway. Bring coffee and message arrival window. Calm beats spirals.
Overhead line fault service suspended between Central and East. I'd switch over to bus B15, then walk the last mile through Market Street. A reliable routine beats heroic improvisation.
Shareable line time. Name the jam, choose the plan. If that helps, screenshot it and tag a friend who always blames destiny. Strategy tastes better than helplessness, especially before sunrise.
Final mini drill. Speak aloud. We set off early, ran into a detour, switched over to the tram, and got back on schedule. That sequence trains your mouth to report, not panic.
One more audience prompt. Tell us your smartest detour: street, station staircase, alley, footbridge. Little local secrets become communal reliability when shared. Your comment might save someone's morning interview.
Bridge to section 3. We'll plan politely with must, should, might, could carpools, buffers, pickups, drop-offs, so teamwork improves reliability instead of amplifying delays.
Bring your schedules, your phrasal verbs, and your patience. We'll turn planning language into calmer mornings and fewer, sorry, held up again messages.
Welcome back. Today we'll turn chaos into choices using modals must, should, might, could, so carpools, timetables, and buffers feel calmer than guesswork and honestly kinder than frantic apologies at 8:59.
I love this toolkit. Must handles safety and rules. Should recommends smart habits. Might expresses possibility. Could opens options. Each word changes temperature, like nudging a thermostat gently.
Let's start with carpools. Drivers must confirm pickup times. That keeps schedules honest. Passengers should be ready 5 minutes early. Polite, practical, we could share fuel costs. Options create goodwill.
And contingency. If lane closures continue, we might switch over to the metro. That sentence respects reality. It signals listening for causes of delays instead of blaming destiny or mysterious traffic gods.
Morning routine script. We should set off at 7:10. The ring road might be slower than yesterday. Notice how should proposes, might warns. Together they steer decisions without barking orders.
Family logistics. Kids must buckle before we move. Non-negotiable safety. We should use the school side gate. Congestion there is lighter. Grandpa could wait at the tram stop canopy.
Work teams next. Stand-up could start at 9 to 10 on storm days. That tiny shift recognizes reliability drops. Remote check-ins should be available. Flexible protocols reduce holdups more than inspirational posters.
Messaging etiquette. Instead of "I'm late," say "Signals failed near junction. I switched over to the tram and should arrive by 9:20. Cause, action, estimate. That triad keeps trust alive.
Phrasal verbs help rhythm. We set off early, ran into a breakdown, switched over to line 2, and got back near schedule. Modals and phrasals braid beautifully when nerves run high.
Bicycle planning. Lights must work at dawn. We should carry a poncho, showers might pop up. We could detour through the park. The boulevard feels riskier while cones block the shoulder.
For buses, reliability rises with buffers. We should add 10 minutes during exams. Campus traffic might spike. If the first bus is packed, we could let it go and catch the next.
Train commuters. We should stand near doors 2 and 5. Boarding there might be faster. We could memorize alternative exits. Small tactics reduce delays that feel larger than they actually are.
Park and ride strategy. We should park at South Lot. North Lot might fill earlier. We could walk the last mile if the shuttle breaks down. Options stop spirals before they start.
Ride-hailing rules. Drivers must use legal pickup bays. We should pin the landmark fountain. If the tunnel backs up, we could switch over to surface streets. Clear language prevents pixel-based confusion.
Now policy talk. Devil's advocate mode. Cities must widen roads to end congestion. Convince me otherwise with modals and comparisons. Not shouting, ha-ha.
Cities should improve frequency and right-of-way first. Bus lanes might move more people than extra car lanes. Signals could prioritize trams. Road widening alone often proves less reliable than promised.
Nicely balanced. Another policy claim. Commuters must simply leave earlier. Counter?
Employers should stagger hours. Schools could shift 15 minutes. Individuals might adjust buffers, but systems must share responsibility. Equity matters when reliability depends on infrastructure we don't personally control.
Beautiful. Audience drill: post one sentence using should plus a phrasal verb. We should set off earlier on rainy days. Post another with might. The East Bridge might hold us up after 7.
Mid-episode CTA: like, share, and drop your best planning line. Your sentence could save someone's interview tomorrow. Community wisdom travels faster than congestion, at least online, haha.
Let's craft announcement responses using modals. Announcement. Reduce capacity due to flooding. Response. We should reroute via hill station. Shuttles might run every 10 minutes. Colleagues could start without me.
Another. Signal fault on the green line. Response. We could switch over to buses B6 or B8. Meeting should slide 10 minutes. I might call in from the tram if coverage holds.
Carpool diplomacy. We should cap pickups at 2. Extra stops might hold everyone up. Passengers could rotate playlists. Soft agreements prevent tiny frictions from snowballing into gridlock inside the car.
School run reality. We should drop off 1 block away, frontage road might jam. Crossing guards must control the main gate. Parents could form a walking train. Micro-design beats megaphones.
Weather prep list. Spoken style. Umbrellas should live in bags. Shoes could handle puddles. Phones must be charged. Ponchos might save connections when buses break down and sidewalks turn into streams.
Workplace signage. Meeting start times could include a storm buffer. Team leads should publish detour maps. Security must keep bike cages unlocked during service suspensions. Reliability includes bicycles, not just badges.
Negotiating expectations. I'd argue the demo should move to 9:30. The line might recover by then. Reason plus modal equals diplomacy. Diplomacy keeps projects moving when roads refuse to cooperate.
Emotion management. We should breathe. We might arrive slightly late, but preparation could protect outcomes. People move better when language calms cortisol. Tone is part of infrastructure, in a sneaky way.
Transit etiquette. Passengers should let people off before boarding. Strollers could use the wider door. Cyclists must strap bikes. Small norms reduce dwell times. Reduced dwell improves reliability across the line.
Personal safety. We should avoid sprinting across detours. We might call a friend if walking alone. Buddies could share live location. Safety is non-negotiable. Timetables aren't worth risky shortcuts.
Weekend trips. We should check event calendars. Stadium exits might overflow. We could set off after the first wave leaves. Timing decisions beat horsepower when throughput collapses around venues.
Night service. We should confirm the last train. Headways might stretch. We could share a ride from the terminal. Clarity after midnight saves stress louder than club speakers.
Freelancer routine. Clients should accept arrival windows on storm days. We might deliver drafts earlier. We could record a quick update video. Reliability includes communication, not only movement between postcodes.
Tech habits. Notifications should be on for service alerts. Data might fail underground. We could screenshot timetables. Screenshots beat spinning loaders when platforms swallow signal greedily.
Small shop logistics. Suppliers should deliver off-peak. Curb space might open. We could drop off before school traffic. Efficient loading bays reduce holdups, and holdups murder morning margins.
Parenting trick. Backpacks should wait by doors. Shoes could live near umbrellas. Kids might choose bus playlists. Engagement speeds, routines. Routines improve reliability. Reliability keeps breakfast cheerful. Usually.
Micro-template for any message. Modal plus action plus reason. I should detour via river. Bridge might be closed. Reasons keep teams aligned better than vague apologies floating like exhaust fumes.
Comparative planning. Trams could be more reliable than buses during rain. Bikes might be faster than cars across downtown. Walking should beat ride, hailing within 8 blocks. Comparatives convert hunches into strategies.
Contingency ladders. If the metro fails, we should switch over to buses. If buses fail, we could bike the last mile. If rain hits, we might share a ride. Pre-built ladders reduce panic.
Travel with elders. Elevators must work. We should choose stations with ramps. We could book a taxi for the final climb. Accessibility planning is love written in timetables, honestly.
Company policy wish list. Teams should publish storm protocols. Leaders might approve flexible starts. Facilities could post detour maps. Security must allow temporary bike parking indoors during extreme weather.
Community angle. City Hall should coordinate signals. Buses might get priority during peaks. Couriers could use off-peak windows. Schools must manage drop-off lanes. Shared responsibility spreads reliability fairly.
Idioms, clean and useful. We should hit the road by 7. If traffic clears, we might make good time. Keep idioms meaningful. Clarity must remain driver, not passenger waving jokes.
Listening focus reminder. Keep ears open for causes. Breakdown. Overhead line fault. Lane closure. Reduced capacity. Once you know the cause, you should choose matching cures: wait, walk, switch, or reschedule.
Audience practice post 2 lines. One with should, one with could, both tied to a delay cause. Example. Signals failed. We should switch over to trams. Colleagues could start without me.
Last planning nugget. We should forgive ourselves for honest delays. Anger might hold us up longer than traffic. Emotional congestion is real. Language can clear those lanes gently.
Shareable line for your screenshots. Modals don't move buses, but they move people. If that helps, share it. Calm words turn gridlock into choreography more often than we realize.
Bridge to section 4. Next, we'll test what-ifs with gentle second conditionals, policies, timetables, rainstorms, so our choices feel flexible, not fragile. Bring curiosity and your best detour stories, friends.
Welcome back. Today, we'll stress test commutes with gentle what-ifs. So if delays appeared tomorrow, our language and plans would bend, not break, and mornings would feel calmer than chaos.
I love this playground. If buses had true right-of-way, travel times would drop and reliability would climb. If they shared lanes forever, tiny incidents would hold up entire corridors repeatedly.
If our line announced reduced capacity, I'd set off earlier and switch over at Midtown. Buffers would protect meetings, and colleagues would relax, because expectation management beats heroic sprints.
If the tram broke down near Central, I'd detour one stop by footbridge, then pick up a bike. Last-mile options would rescue timing faster than waiting beside a gloomy platform.
If rain hammered the ring road, throughput would shrink, headways would widen, and buses would bunch. I'd text, "Storm delays, I'll get back by 9:20. Please start." Calm beats mystery.
If stadium traffic exploded after a concert, car lanes would gridlock, bikes would glide downtown, but only if protected lanes existed. Without them, nervous riders would switch over to trams anxiously.
If signals failed again, we'd hear temporary speed restrictions. Trains would crawl, platforms would swell, tempers would rise. I'd reroute early. Frustration costs more energy than a 10-minute walk.
If the app mispredicted arrivals, I'd rely on frequency memory. When the 10th minute hit, I'd switch over. Knowing your corridor's rhythm saves nerves better than refreshing 5 anxious times.
If our carpool added a second pickup, we'd risk cascading holdups. I'd propose rotating weeks. Equity would feel fairer than permanent detours, and friendships would survive Monday mornings.
If construction closed the underpass, pedestrians would scatter at awkward crossings. I'd choose the longer but safer detour. Reliability includes arriving intact. Risky shortcuts rarely repay the adrenaline.
If a bus broke down inside the bay, other departures would stack behind it. Dispatch would scramble, frequency would wobble. I'd walk 2 blocks to a free-flowing stop immediately.
If the city installed bus gates on Market Street, congestion would ease. Throughput would rise because short dwell times would stop snowballing. Design would move people quietly, without fanfare or speeches.
If employers staggered hours by 30 minutes, peak load would flatten. Elevators would flow. Headways would feel kinder. And meetings would start with coffee instead of apologies and breathless stories.
If couriers shifted deliveries off-peak, curb space would open, buses would keep schedule, and riders would stop clumping. Small logistics changes would feel larger than new asphalt, strangely satisfying.
Audience drill post 1 clean what if. If X happened, I would Y. Keep a cause of delay inside it. Example, if the bridge lane closed, I'd switch over to the ferry.
Second audience question policy flavor. If trams received priority at intersections, what would change first? Reliability, emissions, or mood? Choose one and justify with a quick comparative. Keep it playful.
If nighttime headways stretched to 20 minutes, I'd set off earlier and share location with friends. Safety would outweigh speed. Planning would feel more adult than romantic spontaneity, honestly.
If a marathon blocked downtown, I'd approach from the park and ride, then walk riverside. Car shortcuts would fail. Feet would beat horsepower when cones narrowed lanes more aggressively than usual.
If I traveled with elders, I'd pre-check elevators. If one failed, we'd choose stations with ramps. Reliability for mobility devices would matter more than shaving 3 minutes from journeys.
If the bike lane network connected fully, hesitant riders would try short commutes. Mode share would shift, car lanes would breathe, and buses would run closer to timetables during peak crush.
If schools shifted drop-off windows slightly, frontage chaos would soften. Buses wouldn't be held up by door-opening dramas, and crossings would feel calmer than carnival exits at 8:30.
If rain persisted all week, I'd rotate shoes and stash socks. Comfort would preserve patience. Patience would protect diplomacy. Diplomacy keeps teams happier than spectacular excuses delivered daily.
If our team placed storm buffers on calendars, fewer demos would derail. Reliability would become cultural, not accidental. Culture shapes timetables as surely as signals and lane markings.
If ride-hailing banned illegal curb stops near stations, trams would glide, boarding would speed, dwell would shrink, and everyone would get back faster than arguments about personal convenience.
If we missed a connection, we'd breathe, diagnose, and message. Held up by a breakdown, switched over to line 2, arriving 9 to 10. Clarity would travel faster than frustration through group chats.
If I carried a mini umbrella always, detours would feel smaller, weather would still misbehave but moods would recover, preparedness tastes better than coffee when headways stretch unexpectedly.
If signals prioritize buses during storms, equity would improve. More riders would gain reliability than any single occupant lane expansion could deliver. Scale matters. Lanes carry fewer bodies than fleets.
If bike share docks existed outside every metro exit, last-mile pain would evaporate. We'd make good time even after minor rail hiccups, and interview nerves would shrink dramatically.
If your route offered 2 equal options, you'd choose the one with better redundancy: parallel streets, multiple exits, wider sidewalks. Redundancy beats single-point failure every weekday between 7 and 9.
If platforms posted plain language causes, passengers would calm down. Signal fault beats operational incident. Specific nouns soothe. Language repairs patience, like a quiet mechanic with excellent manners.
If dispatch announced buses running every 8 minutes, I'd translate into practice. 2 could bunch, 1 might vanish. I'd keep a 10-minute buffer. Reality beats marketing, kindly but firmly.
If a friend always held us up, I'd adjust invitations. We'll set off at 7 to 10. Meet us en route. Boundaries would protect schedules gently. Friendship would survive because clarity is merciful.
If the river flooded underpasses, cyclists would switch over to bridges. I'd plan extra minutes and bring lights. Safety gear would feel heavier than fashion but lighter than regret.
If the tram driver announced a detour, I'd listen for where and why. If it's a local blockage, walking would win. If it's network-wide, patience would win. Diagnosis directs action.
If the city piloted congestion pricing, buses would run more reliable than today during peaks. Drivers would adapt. Mode share would shift. Outcomes would beat predictions after a short frustration period.
If our neighborhood got a new footbridge, parents would drop off differently. Kids would cross safely, cars would loop less, buses would keep pace. Small infrastructure changes would echo loudly.
If you tracked your worst bottleneck for a week, patterns would emerge. You'd set off earlier 2 days, switch over 3 days, and stop gambling on miracle minutes forever.
If companies rewarded punctual communication, not just punctual arrivals, honesty would increase. Held up by gridlock, starting online, would feel professional, not shameful. Reliability includes messages, not just movement.
If you preloaded transit cards, you'd glide past queues. Queues would hold up tourists, not locals. Preparation quietly outperforms adrenaline 99 mornings out of 100.
If platforms had clearer wayfinding, dwell would fall. People would board evenly, doors would close sooner, timetables would recover. Good signs are invisible heroes. Confusion steals minutes noisier than sirens.
If we packed tiny snacks, low blood sugar would stop hijacking tempers. Calm voices negotiate detours. Hungry voices exaggerate disasters. Emotional infrastructure matters as much as concrete, surprisingly.
If scooters respected designated bays, sidewalks would flow. Pedestrians wouldn't zigzag, buses would unload faster, everyone would breathe easier. Shared space etiquette is public transport's secret engine.
If schedules slipped beyond 20 minutes, I'd reschedule politely. Let's start without me. I'll get back for Q&A. Rescheduling beats sprinting across slick tiles while fate laughs loudly.
If your city launched real-time alerts, subscribe. If alerts ping too often, filter by line. Smart notifications would save hours, yearly tiny taps replacing long rants about destiny.
If you learned one reliable detour per corridor, delays would shrink psychologically. Confidence would replace helplessness. Helplessness fuels gridlock inside the brain. Confidence clears lanes remarkably fast.
If I needed a shareable line, I'd choose this. If you name the cause, your route would choose itself. Screenshot it, tag a friend who deserves kinder mornings.
Bridge to next section. We'll compare options with sharp, friendly comparatives: faster than, cheaper than, more reliable than, so trade-offs become visible, and choices feel like design, not roulette.
Bring your routes, your timetables, and your best what-ifs. We'll turn comparisons into strategies, and strategies into quieter alarms that don't scream when the sky changes its mind again.
Welcome back. Today, we'll compare options with friendlier math: faster than, cheaper than, more reliable than, so choices feel designed, not desperate. Comparatives turn fog into signposts when timetables wobble.
I love signposts. Buses with dedicated lanes are often faster than cars at rush hour. Trains feel more reliable than ride-hailing downtown. Bikes are cheaper than parking, especially near stadiums.
Let's test real corridors. Riverbend to Central. Tram is quicker than bus on rainy days because right-of-way beats puddles. On sunny Sundays, walking is calmer than waiting because headways stretch.
Cost triangle. A monthly pass may be cheaper than fuel plus parking. A bike share is cheaper than ride-hailing for short hops. Time saved is often more valuable than coins saved.
Comfort versus speed. A crowded express is faster than a seated local, yet comfort might matter before presentations. Reliability is kinder than adrenaline when stakes feel heavier than backpacks.
Phrasal verbs and comparisons help storytelling. If you set off earlier, you'll get back sooner than friends who run into detours. Switching over at Midtown is smarter than waiting indefinitely.
Let's compare weather strategies. In storms, rail is steadier than buses. Buses are safer than bikes. Covered walkways are drier than shortcuts. Dry socks are more persuasive than motivational quotes, honestly.
Reliability stacks. 2 frequent buses can be more reliable than 1 rare express. Predictable 10-minute headways are friendlier than theoretical 5-minute headways that bunch and disappear like nervous ghosts.
Audience mini drill. Choose your route and post 1 comparative plus a reason. Example: the tram is more reliable than ride-hailing because the bridge lane closes. Reasons make comparisons useful, not decorative.
Another drill. Compare departure times. Setting off at 7:10 is calmer than 7:30 because school drop-off jams hold us up. Planning sentences beat apologies that arrive breathless and late.
Bring in policy debates quickly. Congestion pricing may be more effective than widening roads because throughput rises when single-occupant cars decline. Protected bike lanes are safer than painted lines, always.
Flex hours are more humane than blanket demands to leave earlier. Equity matters. A city with multiple reliable modes is more resilient than a city worshipping one shiny freeway.
Let's welcome our mini cameo. Journey planner and app engineer Mina is here to demystify predictions. Mina, why are some estimates smoother than others on stormy Tuesdays?
Timetables are cleaner than forecasts because they're planned. Predictions are probabilistic. Frequency, capacity, and incidence distort them. Last-mile uncertainty is often larger than riders expect. Stairs and signals steal minutes.
So frequency is more important than pinpoint arrival seconds. A steady every 8 minutes line is more reliable than an allegedly exact bus that keeps slipping. That matches our headaches.
Exactly. Also, redundancy is stronger than precision. Routes with 2 viable detours are more dependable than routes depending on 1 fragile bridge. Networks beat heroic shortcuts most weekdays.
Final quick one, Mina. Why do apps wobble after events?
Demand spikes are messier than usual patterns. Driver supply lags. Mode share shifts faster than our models update. Human behavior is noisier than timetables. Wonderful, but tricky for clocks.
Thank you. That clarity is brighter than any loading spinner, haha. Friends, let's compare last-mile options. Elevators are kinder than escalators for strollers. Covered arcades are drier than windy shortcuts.
Speed hacks respectfully. A brisk 10-minute walk is faster than a 5-minute wait plus a 5-minute ride. Posting arriving 9 to 10 is kinder than radio silence until 9:11.
Money choices again. Bike share subscriptions are cheaper than parking monthly. A transit pass is cheaper than frequent surge pricing. An umbrella is cheaper than rescheduling interviews, emotionally and financially.
Safety comparisons matter. A protected lane is safer than a painted shoulder. Crossing at lights is safer than sprinting across desire paths. Reliable arrival is better than dramatic arrival, every time.
Communication options. Held up by a bottleneck, I'll switch over and should arrive 9:15, is more professional than late again, sorry. 'Cause plus plan is more credible than vibes.
Comfort trade-offs. The express is quicker than the local, but the local is quieter than the express. Before a presentation, quiet might beat speed. Choose the metric that serves your outcome.
Sustainability angle. A full bus is greener than a single-occupant car. Trams powered by renewables are cleaner than diesel fleets. Walking is cleaner than everything except staying home and stretching.
Resilience angle. A grid of medium-speed streets is more reliable than one ultra-fast freeway. Distributed options handle incidents better than concentrated throughput. Systems thinking beats wishful thinking.
Family planning. Dropping off one block away is faster than battling the main gate. Staggered pickups are smoother than everybody arriving at 8 sharp. Micro changes ripple larger than they look.
Device discipline. Screenshots are more dependable than live maps underground. Preloaded tickets are faster than fumbling wallets. Charging overnight is wiser than magical thinking at 2%.
Weekend strategy. Starting after the first wave leaves is calmer than joining the stampede. A park and ride is cheaper than downtown parking. Walking the last mile is quicker than circling garages.
Let's compare messaging styles. Might be late is vaguer than signal fault. Arriving 9:20. Specifics are kinder than suspense. Teams prefer clear arrival windows to dramatic entrances, trust me.
Healthy defaults. Packing a poncho is smarter than trusting clouds. Comfortable shoes are kinder than glamorous blisters. A mini power bank is braver than optimistic percentages dancing near red.
2-mode sequences. Metro plus walk is faster than bus plus ride hail downtown. Tram plus bike is cheaper than taxi plus parking near arenas. Switching over intentionally is better than improvising frantically under rain.
Idioms. Clean and helpful. Start early to make good time. Avoid missing the boat by checking headways. Keep idioms supporting meaning. Clarity is more valuable than cleverness during delays.
Micro template for comparatives. Option A, plus metric plus reason. Tram is faster than bus because right-of-way avoids bottlenecks. That triangle persuades quietly, more effectively than 5 dramatic adjectives.
Audience prompt. Post 2 lines, 1-time comparison, 1 cost comparison. Example. Bike is quicker than car within downtown. Monthly pass is cheaper than parking. Add 1 cause phrase for realism.
Let's evaluate 3 morning paths. Path A, drive entire way. Path B, drive to park and ride, then tram. Path C, tram plus walk. B is cheaper than A. C is calmer than both.
Night travel comparison. Ride-hailing is safer than walking alone in low-lit areas. Meeting at a station is safer than random corners. Safety should rank higher than speed when streets go quiet.
Equity lens. Bus priority on working-class corridors is more impactful than marginal freeway gains. A reliable 15 minutes is more life-changing than occasional miracle sprints. Predictability beats prestige projects.
Weather lens. Rubber soles are grippier than leather in rain. A cap is simpler than wrestling umbrellas in wind. Practical comfort is smarter than heroic fashion during storm commutes.
Info quality. Push alerts from transit agencies are more reliable than rumor threads. Official maps are clearer than third-hand screenshots. Interpret signals sparingly. Specificity helps choices more than speculation.
Team rituals. 10-minute grace windows are better than public shaming. Hybrid starts are smoother than cancellations. Flexibility is cheaper than turnover driven by impossible mornings.
Shareable line time. Comparisons turn traffic into tactics. If that resonates, screenshot and tag your commute buddy. Tactical mornings are quieter than dramatic ones, which leaves energy for actual work.
Before we bridge, quick phrasal wrap. Set off earlier, switch over wisely, run into fewer surprises, get back calmer. Those verbs are friendlier than panicked synonyms when the city misbehaves.
Final audience drill. Choose a corridor and write 3 comparisons. Time, cost, reliability. Example. Tram is faster than bus, cheaper than ride, hailing, more reliable than car during rain.
Bridge to section 6. We'll stitch everything together, phrasal verbs, transport terms, modals, what-ifs, comparatives, so your language moves people as smoothly as good infrastructure. Viral closer coming, friends.
We've traveled a long corridor today. Let's stitch phrasal verbs, transport terms, modals, what-ifs, and comparatives into one smooth route, so mornings feel designed, not desperate, calmer than yesterday's chaos.
I feel proud and a little energized. When we name causes, our choices sharpen. Language becomes infrastructure. Words like bottleneck, reliability, capacity, frequency actually move people, not just opinions.
Quick recap rhythm. Set off with buffers. Switch over when causes demand it. Run into fewer surprises by listening carefully. Then get back on schedule with calm messages. Language choreographs movement.
Opinion starters steady tone. I think I feel from my experience, I'd argue. Those phrases lower heat, raise clarity. Clarity is more reliable than adrenaline and cheaper than last-minute taxis, honestly.
Comparatives guide trade-offs without arguments. Faster than, cheaper than, more reliable than, safer than. A sentence like tram is faster than bus because right-of-way avoids bottlenecks persuades better than dramatic adjectives.
Modals turn pressure into plans. Must handle safety, should offers advice, might signals uncertainty, could opens options. Teams move smoother when messages sound respectful, not heroic, especially during storms.
What-ifs build resilience. If signals failed, I'd switch over at Midtown. If headways stretched, I'd leave earlier. Hypotheticals rehearse calm. Calm beats chaos when infrastructure forgets how to behave.
Phrasal verbs keep stories tidy. Set off, held up, break down, switch over, run into, get back. That rhythm sounds professional in texts, kinder than vague apologies drifting like exhaust.
Let's run a mini scenario using everything. Announcement. Reduced capacity due to flooding. I'd argue we should reroute via Hill Station. Shuttles might be more frequent than buses through the underpass.
I'd add a calm text. Held up by flooding near Riverbend, switched over to tram, should arrive 9:15. That message sounds credible, 'cause plus plan is stronger than sorry plus silence.
Another scenario. Signal fault on Green Line. Platforms swelling. I'd compare options. Walking 2 stops is faster than waiting. We could meet online. Presenters must start on time for visiting clients.
Family version. School drop-off gridlock again. We should set off 12 minutes earlier. The side gate is calmer than the main loop. Kids could walk the last block. Crossing guards must manage corners.
Equity lens. Spoken simply. Bus priority on working-class corridors is more impactful than marginal freeway expansions. More people arrive reliably. Reliability grows opportunity. Predictability beats prestige projects for daily life.
Sustainability lens. A full bus is greener than single-occupant cars. Trams powered by renewables are cleaner than diesel fleets. Walking the last mile is cheaper than parking and better than grumpy circling.
Audience drill 1. Post a 2-line plan using a comparative and a modal. Tram is faster than bus today. We should switch over at Harbor. Your line might save someone's interview tomorrow, honestly.
Audience drill 2. Write a calm delay text with a phrasal verb and cause. Held up by lane closure, switching over to ferry, could arrive 9:40. Practicing out loud builds muscle memory gently.
Vocabulary spotlight. Quick and useful. Throughput. Capacity. Reliability. Resilience. Redundancy. Frequency. Congestion pricing. Right-of-way. Last mile. Mode share. Emissions. Equity. Sprinkle naturally. Don't tape them everywhere.
Idioms with purpose, not decoration. Make good time, stuck in a jam, gridlock, hit the road, miss the boat. Clean and helpful. Clarity must drive. Idioms ride shotgun, smiling politely.
Micro-templates for life. Message triangle. Cause, action, estimate. Example. Signal fault, switching over. Arriving 9:20. Policy triangle. Problem, comparative, implication. Example. Bus lanes faster than cars. Emissions drop.
Listening skill reminder. Causes of delays, breakdowns, bottlenecks, weather, reduced capacity, signal faults, demand spikes. When you hear which cause, your route almost chooses itself. Diagnosis directs motion.
Let's braid policy and practice. I'd argue cities should prioritize frequency. Buses might become more reliable than cars downtown. If right-of-way expanded, commute times would fall, and equity would improve.
Workplace culture helps. Teams should publish storm buffers, meetings could start hybrid, presenters must upload slides early. Infrastructure is physical, but culture carries schedules further than concrete sometimes.
Personal kit checklist, spoken style. Phones must be charged, passes should be preloaded, screenshots might save you underground. A mini umbrella could turn a detour into a stroll instead of a meltdown.
Safety sits above speed. Protected lanes are safer than painted shoulders. Crossing at lights is safer than shortcuts. Reliable arrival outranks dramatic arrival. Colleagues appreciate calm more than hero sprints.
Let's roleplay a tight morning. You, lane closure on Ring Road. Me, switch over to tram plus walk. I'll text cause action. ETA, we'll still begin on time because preparation outruns traffic.
Haha, confidence tastes better than coffee. Another moment. If trains broke down between Central and East, we'd reroute via market buses, then walk river path. Slower than ideal, but steadier than panic.
What about evenings? Night headways stretch. We should confirm last departures. Might share rides from terminals. Safety must guide choices. Flexibility beats stubborn pride when platforms thin out.
For families, tiny habits matter. Backpacks waiting by doors are faster than scavenger hunts. Shoes near umbrellas are faster than frantic searches. Microsystems produce macro reliability, which saves morning tempers.
Device discipline, again. Notifications should be on for official alerts. Rumor threads might distract. Official maps are clearer than screenshots from friends. Precision, not panic, keeps routes humane.
One more comparative chain. Tram plus walk is quicker than bus plus ride-hail downtown, cheaper than parking, and more reliable than praying for green waves. That sentence is a pocket strategy.
Emotional logistics. Breathe before texting. Language shapes cortisol. I'd suggest replacing I'm late with I'm held up by a signal fault. Switching over, should arrive 9 to 10. Calm helps everyone think.
Phrasal rap with personality. We set off earlier, ran into a detour, switched over smoothly, and still got back on time, haha. Rhythm matters. Rhythm reduces shame and spreads cooperation.
Shareable line warm-up. Comparisons turn traffic into tactics. Screenshot it. Tag your commute buddy. Tactics beat tantrums when rain plays drums on every windshield and microphones announce unfortunate news.
Another shareable thought. Name the jam, choose the plan. It's short, practical, memorable. If it travels, mornings might soften citywide. Viral kindness tastes better than viral complaints, truly.
Final audience ask. Comment your corridor and one reliable detour. Like and share if today's language saves stress. Your voice could build someone's morning map before their alarm finishes singing.
Quick gratitude. Dispatchers, drivers, cyclists, walkers, train crews, thank you. Reliability is a team sport. Listeners, your patience and planning make networks feel kinder than they look on maps.
Closing template you can steal tomorrow. Cause. Overhead line fault. Action. Switch over to tram. Estimate. 9:15. Modal. Should. Comparative. Tram faster than bus during storms. Done. Professional, persuasive, peaceful.
Last, sprinkle of persuasive terms for memory. Reliability, frequency, capacity, resilience, redundancy, right-of-way, last mile, equity. Keep 2 ready per answer. Swap them in when causes appear.
Ready for the fridge door quote? Phones up, friends. We want this one taped above helmets, dashboards, and transit cards, guiding mornings quietly while the sky decides its mood.
Plan like an engineer. Speak like a neighbor. If that resonates, share it. Like, comment, and tag one commuter who deserves kinder mornings. From us to you, calmer routes, warmer voices.